Hi guys, welcome back to Marant's Rants. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. It's Tuesday, and I'm playing poker here online. This is all for fun. This is not for real money. But I thought I'd take this time to tell you guys about the time in my life where I lost $40,000 in the span of 9 months. It was earth-shattering, to say the least, and I'll explain it to you guys to a T. So when I was in the military, I got out and I used to play poker online. It was a thing to do. I started talking to my dad, and talking to my brother, and we used to get together and play on a website called PacificPoker.com. And we would play on this website, and it was all for fun, nothing real, no real money just yet. And we used to do a mass phone call. We used to use Ventrilo or our cell phones and tell each other what we had. We would we would cheat, right? But we found it funny because we were beating everyone, and it was just something fun to do. And over time, after watching the guys on TV, Phil Hellmuth, Phil Ivey, Sammy Farha, a whole bunch of Doyle Brunson, you can watch them all, right? You go, hey, I can do that. Maybe I'm that good. Maybe you're not. So fast forward to me moving to California in 2006. When I moved to California, I got this job, advertising firm, and I started selling advertising, and I started making a lot of money. Mind you, I'm 24, 25 at the time, and maybe, around that time, because I was 24 to 27 when this all happened. And I start making money, and it was January of 2007. I made $17,000 that month in sales. I got a check for $17,000. If I would have known what I know now, I'd be a millionaire today. But I didn't. I took that money and I went and spent it on the bar. I spent it on everything I could find. I didn't go buy a house. The housing market was booming at the time, and I felt like I could just rent one. So I rented one for $1,100. Mind you, it wasn't enough to give me, to hurt me, right? Like, it's $1,100. I can handle that. I get the car of my dreams. I go into the dealership and I go, I want that Acura TL Type S. I want it. I don't care if it costs $45,000. And then he didn't think I was serious because I'm a kid. And he was like, yeah, whatever, bro. I'm like, no, really, I want it right now. And he's like, all right, $6,000 down and it's yours. Go. And he's like, I'll find a bank to buy it. And I was like, $6,000, no problem. I had it, and I just rocked it. And so I drove off with the car. It was the worst car deal of my lifetime. I paid $831 a month for that car, and my insurance was a sports, it was considered a high-performance vehicle, and I paid like $350 a month for my insurance. So I have all these bills I'm racking up. And while I'm doing that, I'm starting to play poker at the casinos. Well, here in California where I live, there's 7 casinos, but 3 poker rooms. So I knew where all the poker rooms were, and I walked in, and I started sitting down playing. Now, there's a difference in poker. Right now, I'm in a tournament here. This evens the playing field when you're in a tournament. When you're at a cash game, if you're at a cash game, well, then you're going to lose money because somebody has bigger pockets than you. Don't believe what you see on TV. Don't believe what people tell you. That doctor sitting across from you, that lawyer sitting, he's going to be there tomorrow. And he's going to make sure that he calls every hand you play. You can't play it like it's a tournament. I wish you could, but they're going to catch something. They're going to call something that's unbelievable. Like, you won't even think, like, what are they calling with Jack 4 offsuit? Like, it's crazy the way they play. Reckless. But it's all to a point. It's to a point, and I didn't know that I was the mark when I walked in. I was very good. Every tournament I'm placing, every tournament I'm making money. But why am I playing? That's what I had to ask myself. Why am I even here? I literally didn't belong at the table. My money was better suited elsewhere, just in life. But I didn't know that at the time. So I sat down, and I won a tournament, and I went over, after I won the tournament, won $800, I walked over to the live game, and I gave it all back. Didn't care. What was I chasing? Was I chasing to win? Not really. Most people buy in with like $100, and most people buy in like 2 racks, $200, whatever it may be. Like this, I don't belong in this hand at all. Nothing. And I'm going to call because I don't care about this tournament. I'm going to play a different tournament. This is fun money, right? I don't care. But what about when you really care about the money? So I sat down with about $200, $100, and I would lose or I would win. Let's just say I'd win and I'd get up to 260. You get $60 on your money. You're not walking out. You just got 30% on the money you put on the table. You're not walking away? Nah, you don't respect the money. There's not a single gambler in this world that respects money. So, as I'm playing poker for a long time, hours and hours every day, losing money, I'm doing really well at work. So at work in February, I made another 13 grand. I made 13 grand. So here I am thinking at this young age, this is how life is supposed to be. After being in the military and struggling with finances and things, I'm in California. They pay you more. This is how life is supposed to be. That's what I thought. And I was wrong, because I took that money and I spent it on I don't know what. And I started digging deep, really deep. So over the next 9 months, I lost $40,000 at the casino. You guys can't even imagine going to the ATM, pulling out the max, going back, pulling out the max. And it didn't matter because I had it. See, there's a big difference here. I wasn't losing house and cars and everything. You know, I wasn't losing the shirt off my back. I wasn't putting myself into this massive debt that day. No, that's why I thought it was okay. That's why I didn't know it was an addiction. Because I literally was like, I'll be all right. Oh, I'll make more. I'm going to get another check next month. So all that's going on. My brother calls me and my brother says, hey, there's this new expansion coming out in July on 2000. This is 2007. On July for World of Warcraft. I think you should play it. And I was like, nah, I'm not playing World of Warcraft right now. I'm going to keep gambling. I'm going to keep doing this. So I keep doing that. That was a way out right there. Trust me. WoW's a whole different addiction. But I end up going to the casino so much that I went a trip to Hawaii. I can't even afford to go because you got to pay the taxes on the trip. I was writing checks and cash advances off of money I hadn't earned yet. I was calculating my commission checks and then saying, okay, I'm going to get this much. All right, I'm able to pay this, pay that. But remember, I have the house, I have the cars, I have everything. What the hell do a single guy, right? And when I say single, I'm by myself at the time, but I had a 4-bedroom house. I had a 4-door car that cost me more than you could ever imagine, when all I needed was a little compact car and I'd be good. And then I was at the table and I'm going and I'm grinding. So one day I'm at work, and this girl answers the phone that I call for an advertising thing, and she's, real flirtatious. I think, hey man, this girl's cool over the phone. And she says, hey, we're going to Vegas. And I was like, all right, let me go. I'll be the third wheel. And she was like, cool. So she told her friend, we had never met before, but they all allowed me to go. So I drove up that night. I didn't go home. I didn't get anything. I drove all the way to Vegas right after work, and I bought new stuff there while I was there. I had money. And so I go to Vegas, and it was like the mecca for poker, right? Like, I'm looking for the New Orleans. I'm looking for the Rio. I'm looking for anywhere that you're playing cards, the Palm, Caesars, you name it. But instead, I joined this morning tournament at the Excalibur. It's $40. $40 at this tournament. It's an all-in or fold tournament. You have to go all in or you have to fold. You go all in or you fold, whatever it may be. I just had quad 8s. There you go. So, somebody threw a horseshoe at me. Anyway, so I go into this tournament and I win the whole thing. It's the most rapid tournament you've ever seen in your life. It was scary as hell, but I risked $30 and I won $500. And I walked out of there feeling like I was the man. Man, I could do this. I could play poker against anybody. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Because I went on to the New Orleans, and I gave it all back. Excuse me, I'm sick. So as I'm playing and I'm losing money left and right, I didn't know I had an addiction yet. I still didn't. Then I met my wife, who's now my wife. I met her. We were dating. And she saw my finances. She actually took me with her. I had to get my taxes done. And she took me to the tax lady, and the tax lady goes, oh my God, who's this guy? What is this? And she's like, oh, this is my boyfriend's taxes. And then the tax lady tells her, you need to keep him because he has earning potential. At this age, he's so young. If he can make this money now, imagine what he'll make in his 40s and his 50s. Tax lady's pretty smart. So yeah, I mean, imagine. But at that time, I was making, over the 4-year span, I probably made over 300-something thousand over those 4 years. And you shouldn't make that kind of money when you're that young. You just shouldn't. I mean, unless you're a professional athlete, it's really tough to manage what you're going to do with it. So back to the story. I remember being there, going home after Vegas. I went to my house. I had 2 roommates. I told the roommates, oh, by the way, the roommates that I had, they didn't pay any bills. I didn't charge them rent. I didn't charge them for food, for gas. I paid everything because I felt like I'm a baller. They're young. They don't have any money. I got this. And so I would do that. It's the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, and they were willing. They were willing to pay. So when I got home, I walked in and I told them, I said, hey, I'm moving. I'm moving right now. I didn't explain myself. I moved out. And they just looked at me like, holy shit, you just fucked us because now we're in this house we can't afford. And I didn't care. I didn't care about my credit. I didn't care if someone's going to come looking for me. I told the guy who rented me the house because he had checked my my pay stubs and he thought they were fake. He thought they were forged. I said, they're not fake. Those are real. He's like, you make this kind of money. Why are you renting? And I still didn't even think about that because, my parents didn't. My mom had told me, she was like, hey, with that first check you got, you should just go put some money down on the house. I don't care how expensive they are. You're going to make it back and you're going to be okay. But I had no literacy on that end. I had a 401k. I had a TSP from the military. And I had invested over those 3 years of 340,000, maybe something like that. I invested $2,500. $2,500 is what I had to show for it after it was all done. Because I went to work one day, and this is after I left. So what I did was I moved out, packed up, and I went to a casita. It cost me $400. I'm living in a casita. I told the dude, come get this car. I don't want this car. I got it repossessed. I didn't care. So I don't care. I'm not paying this $800 a month plus insurance. I stopped all of that. And the reason why I gave up everything, it wasn't that I couldn't afford it. I could afford it. I gave it all up so I could have more money for poker. That's when I knew I had a problem. That's when I was with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and she says, hey, babe, like, if you want to be together, you can never go back to the casino. I will not be with you if we go to the casino. And everybody knows where we go these days, right? We've been together 15 years, and we still go to the casino every weekend because we don't gamble. We don't gamble, and I'm okay with it. I don't have to gamble. I feel like I'm losing money if I go to the casino and I gamble money. But to fast forward to the story is I got rid of everything so that I could gamble more. And what I was doing, I said, okay, I won't go at night with her. I won't do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my lunch breaks. So I would race down to the casino on my lunch break, buy in $100, sit down, lose the 100, whatever. Or make some back, win something, right? But I'm just trying to win a big hand. I don't know. I don't know what the feeling I was trying to get. I don't know what I wanted. I didn't respect it. So I was spending money I didn't have. And my kids needed something. They needed plane tickets. They were going to travel. They needed 2 plane tickets. And I remember being on the phone with Delta Airlines because it's unaccompanied minor and all this stuff that you had to travel at the time. And I said, you know what? That's fine. How much are the tickets? And they go, it's $500. And I was like, cool. I had the 500. And my wife looked at me. And sure enough, I had it. But what I didn't know was they said 500 each. So when I went to my bank account, I had negative $500 because that was the last $500 I had. And she just looked at me. And she helped me. And I lost this hand, but I don't mind. Oh, I won the hand. There you go. There you go. That's poker. So she looked at me and she helped me. I was negative $500 in my bank account. And she said, why are you negative? And we didn't share our finances with each other. And I was like, well, every lunch break, I go to the casino and I play poker. And she took my checkbook from me. She took everything from me like if I were a child, which I was at the time, guys. I was an adolescent child, 26 years old, 27 years old in my mind. And I couldn't afford to gamble anymore. And I had to put my kids first type deal, and I had to grow up really quick. Then I went to work one day, and they called me to the HR office. And they said, you can't come back anymore. It's over. You're being laid off. The economy had crashed. And my cash cow, my money that I was banking on just to keep me floating every month, I had penciled in. I went from making 10 grand a month to making 2 grand a month in the blink of an eye. Yeah, unemployment and a severance package. I ended up getting, it was like 2 grand for the first 3 weeks or 2 months or 3 months, whatever it was. And then they paid me unemployment after that in $1,900. I can't afford anything I'm doing. I learned the hardest lesson in life, guys. If you're not financially educated, if you don't think that it's harming someone or other people because you've got it under control, you don't have it under control. I lost $40,000 cash. Taxes were taken out, everything. I had 40 grand cash in my bank, and I lost it all. Chasing what? Chasing the feeling of winning a poker hand. Because it doesn't matter. You know when I knew I really had a problem? I won this tournament once. And they do this thing at tournaments. Like when there's the last 5 guys, they'll be like, yo, we'll chop it up. We'll chop up the pot and we'll distribute it out in between all of us, whatever amount it is. So, we'll chop. And some guys, if they have a huge chip lead, they won't chop. And I didn't have a huge chip lead. I had I had one of the smaller pots. And if I would have chopped at the time, I would have gotten double what the last place guy gets. Or the 5th place guy gets. And they go, hey, you want to chop? And they were doing me a favor. They know me. They're like, Marantz, you want to chop? And I just looked at them. I go, hell no, I'm not chopping. That's when they felt the disrespect. That's when they felt like, hey, this kid doesn't respect money. Because I didn't. I was going to get $600. I bought in for $60. And they were willing to give me 10 times what I put in. And even then I was like, nah, hell no. Let's play this out. Because I'm better than you. No. I got beat. Because they made it a point to beat me. All 5 of them, all 4 of them beat me. And they made it a point to beat me. And I left the tournament with about $240 to my name. And I'm like, I won $240. But it wasn't about that. It was about the principle. A lot of you guys out there have gambling problems or you don't know you do. Some of you guys gamble on the game. So I know people who will not watch football unless they have money on the game. Any sporting event. You don't need to. You guys know that I do a lot of finance. I do a lot of stock market investing now that I have the means and the time to do the studying I do. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I've learned to navigate this world and this financial woes that we're going through, economic woes. It's okay. I am lockstep with myself. Do you know how happy I am when I buy $20 worth of something? I respect the $20 so much. The other day, my wife and I, we go to the gas station. We buy a soft drink, a bag of chips, and whatever. It was something crazy. And it came out to $15. And I looked at her and I go, are you kidding? She's like, what's wrong with that? I go, you buy it? You pay for this? Like, this is how you spend money? She's like, well, that's what it costs. That's the price of things today. I go, nah. The stock market has not increased in inflation. There's no inflation on the stock market. There's inflation on products, yes, but on the stock market, no. Go buy some shares of something. Go invest your money the right way. But gambling and losing $40,000 that I can't get back, that would have been very helpful. Is it everything? No. I've made it 10 times over since then to now. I've done really well in life. But you know what? If somebody would have helped me when I was 24, shit, man, we wouldn't be here. So that was a story I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to finish out this poker tournament, but I love everybody. You guys have a great night, and I'll get back to doing more videos later on. I just want to share that with you. How to lose 40,000. It's pretty easy. Be careful. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. I'm going to see you around, millionaires. Peace.